Has anyone ever told you how expensive accidents can be? Well, don't take it from me. Take it from Mr. Kumar. May he rest in peace.
So a friend of mine had a fatality at his workplace the other day. Boy, was it a morale crusher for the entire company. The accident was really gruesome. The casualty, Mr. Kumar, lay there unconscious on the ground with his head split open as a result of this tragedy involving a transport bus. Mr. Kumar's health was in such a dire state after the accident that they had to apply a medically induced coma on him. Unfortunately, he didn't make it. His health continued to deteriorate and he eventually died several days later. The bus driver has been in jail ever since. The company is now waiting for the police to issue their report, which will basically determine fine amounts and whether more people end up behind bars for negligence. Obviously, the bus driver's fate also depends on this report. It's only been a couple of days, but the company is already at risk of losing potential contracts that they've bid on. Who would want to work with a company that has just got its hands covered in blood? It's such an unfortunate situation, to say the least. Just one wrong move in one split second can change lives forever. Mr. Kumar's family have lost a father, a brother, and a son. Not to mention the lost income they've all been depending on. In addition to the guilt he will live with for the rest of his life, the bus driver will end up losing his job and be deported in the best of circumstances. The company has already lost reputation among its clients in the market and in turn potential business. Talk about messy. But what's done is done and cannot be changed. Now you may have assumed at the outset that since the accident involved a bus and a split open head, that Mr. Kumar was hit by the 67-seater. But that is far from what happened. In fact, what happened was much simpler and could have easily been prevented. Mr. Kumar was being dropped off at a site, and he was standing at the bus door, ready to hop off. Unfortunately, contrary to the rules and procedures that the bus driver learned as part of his training to become a licensed driver, the door was left open while the bus was moving. Mr. Kumar was standing at the open bus door, not because the bus was full or anything like that, but just because. He probably didn't think anything like this would happen. Who would? It's just an open door. As the bus was approaching the final destination, it began to slow down. And a couple of meters before stopping, Mr. Kumar jumped off. And instead of landing smoothly on his feet, he came crashing down on his head, splitting it open. Now, many times, rules are created from the blood of others, so you don't make the same fatal mistakes. Taking a shortcut may not seem like risky business, and probably won't result in any harm most of the time. But for the bus driver, and by extension Mr. Kumar, following one basic rule could have made all the difference in the world for them. This unnecessary shortcut was the difference